Hello and welcome to our final tutorial on recursion, and in this tutorial we'll be taking a look at the fourth program in our list, which is to find the first 10 terms of a Fibonacci series by using recursion. So this is what a Fibonacci series as it is commonly known as looks like. So the two first terms are 0 and 1. So from 0 and 1, when we add 0 and 1, we get the next term, which is 1. After that we add 1 and 1 and we get the next term, which is 2. And after that we move on to the next term, which is 2, which is the sum of 1 and 1. And then 1 and 2 gives us the next term, which is 3. Then 2 and 3 gives us 5, and so on. So this is how the values of the numbers in this series is calculated. So the two main terms are 0 and 1. So from that we are going to get the remaining numbers in this series. So there are two methods. So obviously our focus will be on the recursive method, but before we can proceed with the recursive method, let us take a look at the non-recursive or regular process of finding the Fibonacci series. So if so we are calling the if-fib function over here, and this is the normal iterative, that is the non-recursive version of our method, which is trying to find the Fibonacci numbers in this series. So if the value of let us say the value of n is 5. So this here we have x equals 0 and y equals 1, and in the first step what we are doing is we are printing the value of 1, which is y, and in the next step we are starting the loop which goes on from 1 and it goes all the way up to one step less than the value of n. So because we are already printing the value of 1, so we have already output one of the terms of the series. So if the series actually starts from 1 and we print 1 before starting our for loop, so in that case what we have done is we've already printed one of the numbers from our series. So our task is to print the remaining numbers of this series. So if we are to execute a for loop, that will execute one less step than our required number of steps. So if our total required number of steps was 10 and we had already printed 1 at the beginning, so we will execute one step less than 10, so that all the 10 numbers are printed one by one. So for instance, here you can see that there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So 8, so the first 8 terms of the Fibonacci sequence is over here. So if we start the number from if we at the beginning we print the first term in the series, that is 1, and from the next step we generate the successive terms by using our function, that is by summing the values of 0 and 1. So we can begin from here because this is the second step in the series, and as we are starting our task from the second step and we have already printed the first number in our series, so this for loop will execute one less time than it is supposed to. So our task is to print the first 6 terms. I think here it was the first 8 terms of the series, and out of that we have already printed 1. So right now our job is to print the 7 remaining terms of this series. So as we have already printed 1, so there is no point in running the loop from 1 all the way up to n. So in that case what we can do is we can either start the loop from 2 and we can go all the way up to n, so that all the remaining terms are printed properly. Or what we can do is we can start the loop from 1 and we can iterate all the way up to n minus 1. So that will balance out the remaining terms and it will print all the successive terms of this series. And if we continue the loop all the way up to n, what will happen is that one more extra term will be printed over here. So what happens in this loop is that we are calculating the values of x and y, we are adding them and storing them in a value called z, and then we are printing the value of z over here, and after that the value of y is assigned to x and the value of z, that is the sum, is assigned to y. So like this it goes on and on until it reaches the value of n, and that is 1 less than the value of n. So if the value of n was 8, this loop will continue up till 7 and it will terminate. So this is how the iterative procedure actually works. So let us now take a look at the recursive process. So here what we have is the function int fib int n. So if the value of n is 0 or 1, it is returning 1, else it will return the sum of the first two numbers, that is n minus 1 and n minus 2. So the loop starts from 0, the loop starts from 5. Not 5, 8. Let us take, for the sake of this example, let us take the value of n as 8. So obviously n is not equal to 0, and when if n is here in this step, we can see that n is not equal to 0 because the initial value of n is equal to 8. So it will move on to the third line, and it will output the values of 8 minus 1, that is 7, and 8 minus 2, that is 6. So 7 and 6, it will add them, and it will simply and it will call the next, it will call this int fib function. So it will call the int fib function with the value n minus 1 plus n minus 2, which is 13. Alright, so n minus 1 will give us 8 minus 1 will give us 7, and n minus 2. Now actually here what happens is that this one will, so these two functions are being called separately twice in this return statement. So n minus 1 will actually call this recursive function once again, and this will return the value of 7, and this one will call this recursive function once again, and it will return the value of 6. So 7 plus 6, and it will give us the total value, and again in the next iteration it will call the next two values, and so on, and like this it will continue as long as the value of n is either 0 or 1. So when the value of n is 0 or 1, it will return the value 1. So this will complete the cycle, and finally we will get all the terms of our Fibonacci series, and they will be displayed on our output console. So now what we'll do is I'll just print, I'll just execute this program, and I'll try to show you the output. So the output will be displayed both from the iterative function as well as the non-iterative function. So if the value of 8 is value of n is 8, so you can see that the first n terms is 20, it goes all the way up to 21 from 1, using both the iterative and non-iterative methods. So this is how we calculate the Fibonacci series using recursion. So please go through the code, and if you have any doubts, you can contact me anytime, and I'll try to resolve your doubts as soon as I can. So this concludes our tutorial on recursion for today, and I'll see you all in my next video, which will hopefully be on some other topic of C programming. So that's it for now, and take care everybody.